Well, straight here. Morning, Cindy.
Morning.
Have a seat.
Like my feet. How you doing?
Do you have an extra agenda?
Really? Really? I don't, but we can share. There's one out there.
Oh, we have no. Mr. Morgan. Good. Mr. Morgan? I didn't see it, Ron. How you doing?
Pretty good. How about yourself?
Still kicking.
Two or three people thought you were dead.
Yeah, close. At one time I was close.
But there's 4 or 5 people wish I was still about.
It wasn't my time.
Yeah.
Mr. Wood, how you doing?
Well, 7 o'clock, I think we call the meeting to order. Could all please stand for a pledge to the flag? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good evening, everybody. First on the agenda here tonight is the approval of the March meeting minutes. Any discussion at all from the board members regarding last month's meeting minutes? Can I get a motion and a second to approve the minutes from March? Motion by Christ.
Second.
Second by Berg. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Town clerk report?
Oh, jeez. I had someone. I really did. No. Can you go to someone
Yeah.
else first?
Yep. Assessor, Mr. Wood, any comments about things going on in the assessor's office right now?
Well, basically, the slower time of the day, I know Louise is working on the update. I see the results of that when I come in. Other than staying in the office, and this is a slower time of the year.
Okay.
When's grievance day? When is a grievance day?
Grievance Day, May, 4th Tuesday in May.
Oh, not really. Because we changed it, remember? I
Okay,
had that local law, so.
We should probably put that on the website,
Yep.
right?
we will. We will. Highway and water, Dirk? Actually, if you want to just take a blank there, if you don't mind.
We're gonna start with the snowplow cleanup here this week. It's been kind of hard to stay on task with people out for sicknesses and whatnot. I'll talk more about our agenda for summer. We got, and I got to prioritize some of these, but Creek Road culvert is a big one we shut down last year. That's gonna be a high priority. We did already work on Norway Road. It had fallen apart unexpectedly compared to last year. This year, we did some repairs last week on Thursday that will get seal coated. We have Venice Corners Road, Growth Road, Heinsberg Road, Paddleford, West Kendall. We got even more roads to look at this year for surface treatment, minor repairs before we surface treat. We've been out and shut out, we got 4 hydrants off right now, due to leaks. We were able to, close them down so we could isolate it. We gotta fix those. We replaced some house meters that, through some reports and working with Diversified and getting some different reports, and Diane, and I just got a phone call this weekend. We've replaced some house meters that just plain and simple quit working. A lot of deer, down trees, working on replace some culverts. We got some culvert crossing patches to do. That'll about sum it up for highway and water.
On the Zener readers,
Yes.
I know we purchased the ones through the ARPA money. Have they all been,
They have not, we put maybe half a dozen out. May 12th, there's a gentleman coming to finish putting the antennas up. And I just talked to, the supplier this morning about ordering. So once we start getting in full swing and we get one of the employees back, we start installing them. It shouldn't take long. We've kind of got the gist of activating them and getting them into the system down. It should go kind of quick. I'm hoping, this is what I'm shooting for, is to have them on the majority of the town with these Zeners, as long as we can get them in. They have them in stock here. They got like 13,000 of them in stock in the United States. So it's not hard to get. It's like a week wait time. So we'll break them down and get them in orders of maybe 100 and start installing them.
we haven't purchased any additional
No
ones?
additional, no. But they are readily available.
Okay.
And once that's in, I mean, we're gonna be able to read right at the building and see if a meter quits, it'll tell us, if there's a problem with the meter and we have to go out before billing happens, we're gonna know. And hopefully, there'll be a little benefit there, and instead of finding out
Is that
when
an
we
actual
read.
meter or transmitter?
It's a transmitter, it's the
Okay.
reader,
Yeah.
so it's picking up what's in the
What's on
meter
the actual
itself.
meter.
Yep, yep.
So if you see it like an abnormal spike, are you planning on notifying the resident?
Yep, they'll have, so if there's we can set the parameters, so if the water runs for 24 hours,
Right.
we'll get a red dot, and, you click on a dot on the iPad or the computer, and it's gonna tell us, what the possible issue is. Is there something wrong with the reader, something wrong with the meter? Is it high consumption, 24-hour use? So we'll be able to make a phone call to the resident, on
So you're
that.
gonna do a phone call.
Yep. And we have to be really critical checking this stuff when we go out, that we got the right meter identification. We've had duplicate meters in the systems, just all of a sudden, and we've been working through all that. So garbage in, garbage out type deal. So we have to be pay attention to when we do this, that everything's right. And everything matches with the old stuff going to the new. So it's gonna be a work in progress, but I think it's gonna be a benefit. I'm kinda excited to see it work.
Yep. Me too.
That should sum it up for me.
Cindy, did you have your
Yeah.
report? Okay.
March receipts totaled $1,684, with $1,642 going into the general fund. I don't really have anything other than Wednesday's the last day of tax collection, so I'm gonna collect until Thursday, seeing as we're not open on Wednesday.
Okay. Thank you. Code enforcement, planning and zoning, Chad's report for April. 4 building permits issued, 1 variance application for a property on Holberton Road. 12 building inspections, 1 C of O for a generator. 2 complaints received, 1 on Canal Road and 1 on Holberton Road, both for property maintenance. On April 7th, he held a workshop, Chad did, with the town board to discuss the solar law. Zoning Board of Appeals had a hearing on April 8th regarding the Moak property at 3629 Holberton Road. As far as the planning board is concerned, no agenda items for the month of April. This is not on the agenda, but I was informed by Judge Christopher that he wanted to get in the habit of doing a monthly report going forward at our town board meetings. So, Judge Christopher, you've got the floor.
All right. For March of 25, we did 38 vehicle and traffic, 17 criminal and 15 civil cases for a total of 70 cases. And we collected $1,523 of fines. As far as the fines and bail, we're going to be going with Allpaid. They're going to be a credit card company, so everybody can pay either online or they can pay here. We're going to be getting 2 terminals. We're getting trained on it Thursday. Makes it a lot easier for people to pay, and a lot of people are willing to pay their fines on the court night, but they don't have cash. So the more chances that they walk away is the more chances you're not going to get the fine money. So, and there's going to be a way to pay on our town website. There's going to be an app you can, or click on it so you can pay. And Maria's going to be here, the court clerk. She'll be here during the week, but Mondays and Thursdays from 12 to 3 she'll be collecting money. We're going to put a drop box for anybody to pay fines. Any other time, it'll be open any time that the doors are open for the town. You just got to walk down the hall and put it in the drop box.
It's my understanding we didn't have the ability, or we didn't take credit card
No, we
payments
did.
before?
We
Did
did.
we? Okay.
Yeah.
They got away from it for some reason, but
They shut it down.
Okay.
it's all tied into the county. Everybody, all the courts, the jail, and everybody uses that. Bill Downey came in last week. We rearranged everything, and it's a lot more accessible. We got the computer in the corner now, so everybody can face, instead of putting your back to everybody trying to look stuff up. And all the computers and the printers are all interchangeable now. So if something happens, you can print to the other printer. So everything's a lot more user-friendly. So he did a good job with that. And New York State, I did the inventory, and they're probably going to update all of our computers and printers and laptops, if some of them, if not all, to give us an update so they're a little more up-to-date.
This year they're gonna do that then, Mike?
Oh, yeah,
Do
probably.
they pay for that?
Yes.
Okay,
Yep, all comes from them. That's it.
Okay, thank you very much.
thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Mr. Morgan, could you please come up front? As everybody knows, Ed served the town of Murray here for the better part of 45 years. I didn't know you started in 1975. But we wanted to present this plaque to you in recognition of your dedicated service to the town of Murray. You started in December of 75 and you retired May 31st of 2020. And we're very much appreciative of all of your efforts here as highway superintendent over the years. You did a great job, and thank you very much.
It was a great job. Okay.
Thank you.
You gonna hang it here?
I will. You want to hold on it for a little while and just kind of look at it a little bit?
I love my wife.
All right.
Earlier period that on whiteboard.
County legislator, anything to report on the legislative side of things? No, he is not. Actually,
Well, because he was here last.
yeah, he was here last week and waited for a while.
He keeps protocol up to date. Got a couple of building projects. We're getting ready to go out to bid to fix the public safety building, roof. We're revamping and downsized drastically the EMO building. And I think we're gonna be able to get at least offices done for what our budget is. We went with a different engineering firm for that. I don't know if he told you, but we're in the process of getting all of the state land down at Point Breeze donated to the county. which will be a big asset.
I know we talked at the Municipality Association of
Yes.
Municipalities meeting here Tuesday night,
Yeah.
so.
That's something, the board, you guys really ought to, John Fitzak is in charge of it now, and he's really getting some good speakers from across the state. And it really would behoove the board to come to them. They're once a month. They're after our legislator meeting Tuesday nights, so that's the third Tuesday. But they're informative, and you get to talk to your counterparts from other towns, so.
Tuesday night at, like, what time?
6 o'clock, 6:30, and it's usually now at Tavern on the Ridge because it's so central. They open up special for us, so. Can't think of anything else. It's other than the normal stuff. It's going good.
Is that tomorrow night?
No, it was last week.
Oh, last week. I was informed, but I didn't know about it.
Well, maybe give Jerry, make sure they all have, because the only way you'll get notified is by email. They don't send a card out anymore, to my knowledge.
Okay.
No, I haven't actually, I'll be honest, I haven't forwarded those emails on to the board members,
I thought
but
everybody was good.
I get it.
do you get them? Okay.
I didn't realize.
But it's very to go. Most of the legislators go.
Yeah, I'm talking about that.
Villages and everyone else. Trying to step up the programs that benefit not only the county, but county and villages too.
Okay, thank you. Next on the agenda, public comment as it pertains to resolution or agenda items. Anybody have any public comments regarding any of the resolution or agenda items? Yes.
Good. I have a comment.
Do you mind taking a microphone here, if you don't mind?
I see that the appointment of Ron Vendetti to the Town of Murray Planning Board. Why are we doing that?
Well, I have noticed in my couple of years here, both on the board and as supervisor, and I'm going to be quite frank when I say this, I feel there has been a lack of knowledge, not only on our zoning board of appeals board, but also on our planning board. There's a notion, I feel that Mr. Vendetti is going to come in here and change the framework of the town. That's not true in my opinion. He's going to be a member of a 5-person planning board that decides how this town is going to look going into the future. There's a lot of issues right now that I feel need attention. Number one is our solar law. And if anybody knows anything about solar, drive around and you'll see a ton of solar projects going on all over the place. And I'm not saying that's going to happen in the town of Murray, but we better damn well be prepared for some company that wants to come in and do some big project, in my opinion. Also, subdivision law is something that needs to be talked about. I personally don't feel like our planning board meets enough. I feel like they should meet more to talk about these issues. Somebody's going to come into this town and they're going to want to propose a subdivision, and if we don't have laws on the books that prevent things that we as residents don't want to see, I think we're setting ourselves up for failure, personally. So my goal, when I became supervisor, was to try to build a team of people, not only with the town, but on the boards that are both knowledgeable, they know what they're talking about, have been there, done that, to add to the flavor of our boards in the town. So myself, Neil, Elaine, we had 3 candidates that interviewed. All 3 candidates interviewed very well, in my opinion. And it could have gone either way, but in the end, we felt like Mr. Vendetti had more experience, more knowledge of codes and zoning and planning than any of the other candidates. And it really comes down to that.
Well, I don't disagree with that, but I do not agree with someone that we had working for this town that walked out of here with a quite sum.
That has been mentioned to me before, and I will add that that suit was won by Mr. Vendetti. Whatever you think about that, somebody felt like he was wronged, and he got paid for that, which is quite different than the situation we had last year in this town where somebody was suing the town and lost every step of the way, and all we did was spend tens of thousands of dollars representing ourselves, against our own town employee. So, very different situation.
What guarantee do we have that won't happen again?
No guarantees in life. We talked to Ron about it when we interviewed him, told him what we were looking for and what our thoughts and hopes are for the planning board. And again, we chose him as the most qualified candidate, and it really just boils down to that.
Well, I'm speaking for quite a few people.
I did field quite a few calls regarding this. Some of them were unfavorable. I understand. But again, in my professional opinion, I'm trying to get people on our boards that know what the hell they're talking about. Hold on one second. Anything else?
No.
I'm just kind of adding on to that from my things I've read.
If you don't mind just taking one of the, yeah, here, let me hand it to you here. You got it?
From knowing the history a little bit from reading, going back into the papers and reading what's going on, having someone knowledgeable is one thing. Having someone you trust is another thing. I think, for me, the issue would be trust.
Well, that's what I said when I said that, Ron is not on an island by himself. He's not autonomous and the only decision maker on the planning board. There's 5 people on that board.
Okay.
If they don't have enough guts or, personal conviction to voice their opinion and speak frankly at a planning board meeting, then I don't know what to say about that.
Right, exactly.
But,
It just, if there is some question about trust amongst these people and among people in town, are we always going to be taking our energies or their energies? Are they always going to be like looking over their shoulders? That's kind of a detriment I'm seeing. It's that going forward, that's kind of like trying to negate the past.
Well, like I said, we advertised for that position. We got a grand total of 3 candidates. Could we have had more? Yeah.
Could you put it on our town website?
I believe it was on the website. I know we advertised on the Hub,
No, I think it was in
Batavia Daily News.
Penny
Penny
Saver.
saver.
Okay.
See, I wasn't aware of that, and I do read that. Maybe I just missed it.
It was on social media, well distributed also.
Yes, because right now I'm in the position where I can devote more time to helping out.
Well, that's what we're looking for in the town, is people that care, people that are knowledgeable about certain aspects that can add to the input in this town and better the town. That's all I'm really looking for.
All right.
And again, Mr. Vendetti is one of 5 people. I can't stress that enough. He's not making law here.
Right.
He's not sending citations out to everybody, with tickets and stuff like that. It's not going on.
And the direction to the planning board would come from the town board.
Okay. All right. Just let you know the thought.
Yep, absolutely.
Got a spot for him then.
Okay. Anything else? Mr. Mano? Good. No, you can hold it if you'd like, that's fine, either way.
So, yeah, the last 5 or 6 years of this board's been an improvement. It's been great. I could say that justice and honesty has gotten a lot better. In my opinion, if you do hire him, it's gonna go back to different things the way it was. I'm not saying it's gonna happen tomorrow or next week, but in the future, he orchestrates the planning board, he could go to another part of the board. My opinion is just my opinion, but from what I've seen the last 4 or 5 years, you guys have been doing great. I really can't say anything wrong, but now it just looks like we're going to a step backwards.
I respect your opinion on that. I mean, ultimately, the planning board is going to make recommendations to the town board, and the town board's gonna, take those recommendations and either go with it or not. So it's even more than 5 people, ultimately. It's the town board.
We
which is
understand how I feel about that.
No, I do.
Okay, I'm not disrespecting none of you people, because I think you guys are doing, from what I could see, a fair job. I'm not saying anything bad, but I don't want to step back into that fire that we had 6, 7 years ago.
I don't want to go backwards either.
I want to go forward.
Yep,
That's my
absolutely.
point. I don't want to cause any ways, but I just want you to know that I'd like to see the forward motion going, not something like that pulling us back.
I appreciate your comments. Like I said, we did the interviews last week. Ron's clearly the most qualified candidate for that
And
position.
that's fine, as long as we move forward and it's fair for everybody.
That's our intention.
If it's fair for one, it's gotta be fair for all. This board's gotta be fair for the whole town of Murray. Not for me, not for George, not for Ralph, Peter, Henry. We all gotta be in this together. We need to be fair with each other. That's all I wanna say.
No, I wholeheartedly
Okay?
agree.
That's it.
Yep.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Tony. Appreciate it.
Thanks for listening.
Yep. Anybody else like to comment? Mr. Paul, if you could come up here, please.
Sure. Well, I just want to say to the town board, I think you did pick the right person. He is only going to be on the planning board, of which there are 5 people. Ron is not going to get out of hand, and if he does, I definitely would come to Jerry and say something. And I'm pretty sure that Dorothy Morgan can put Ron in his place, and she's the chairman. And we just want to make the town of Murray better and fair for everybody. But you're right, there's laws that this planning board has been working on for years, and it still isn't done, and it needs to get done, and I'm sure Ron will give us the right advice and get it done. Thank you.
Yep. Again, that's my main intention here at the town, is to improve the town. I want it to look like the residents want it to look like. If you want solar farms all over the place, let me know. If that's not how you want the town to look, let me know. Subdivisions, give me your opinions on that. Because you know that Monroe County is extending its arms ever westward, and sooner or later, these issues are gonna crop up in our town. As much as we want that rural flavor, people are gonna wanna do development. I want the right development. And I wanna follow what the people in the municipality want. That's what I'm here for.
We want to dictate to the people. We don't want someone else coming in and dictating to us. So we want to have that plan in place.
Anybody else? Okay. So that ends public comment as it pertains to resolutions and agenda items. Going into new business, can I get a motion and a second to accept the resignation of Randall Bauer from the town board effective April 21st, 2025?
Make a motion.
Motion by Berg, second by Christ. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Second on the list, appointing Ron Vendetti to the Town of Murray Planning Board effective April 28th, 2025. Can I get a motion and a second regarding that?
Make a motion.
Motion by Mr. Valentine, second by Berg. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Third on new business is appointing Donna Martin as part-time assessor clerk effective April 28th, 2025. Can I get a motion and a second regarding that appointment?
So move.
Motion by Christ, second by Mr. Valentine. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Resolution creating an equipment reserve fund and moving $357,000 out of fund balance to the equipment reserve fund. Be it resolved that the town board of the town of Murray hereby approves the creation of an equipment reserve fund, and it is further resolved that $357,000 is to be moved out of fund balance into the equipment reserve fund. Can I get a motion and a second on that? Motion by Christ, second by Berg. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Resolution approving the transfer of $112,970 from the equipment reserve fund to machinery equipment, account DA 5130.2, for the six-wheeler that we purchased in January. Can I get a motion and a second on that? Motion by Mr. Valentine, second by Mr. Christ. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. And lastly, a resolution authorizing the purchase of a one-way snowplow and accessories as listed on Viking Sieves. I hope that's correct. USA, quotation ID WA00000140, dated March 28th, 2025. Can I get a motion and a second on that?
You need a dollar amount on
I
there?
had it here.
Oh, in the
It's on
resolution,
second
okay,
resolution, it's right here,
gotcha.
135.
Yep, be it resolved that the town board of the town of Murray hereby authorizes the purchase of one-way snowplow and accessories as listed on Viking Sieves USA quotation WA00000140 at a cost not to exceed $135,000. Again, can I get a motion and a second on that? Motion by Mr. Christ, second by Berg. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Going into old business. Mrs. Kean, I told you I'd give you a call. We finally got the grant for the water line extension on West Brockville Road and Heinsberg Road. We worked quite a while on that to get that done. As you well know, I was on the board for a year and nothing got done. I promised you that when I got elected, if I got elected, that I'd work on it. And we finally got the letter of commitment last Friday that I signed off on with USDA Rural Development. So that's a $288,000 award, and that is going to go towards getting you guys water on West Brockville Road and Heinsberg Road.
It's good for growth.
Yep. Thank you to the board for all of your support, and thanks to everybody that made it happen. You know,
I have to say Jerry has spent a tremendous amount of time on that. I mean, those grants aren't easy to get, and the follow through and everything he's had to do, he's worked very hard on it.
Yeah, I appreciate everything that everybody has done.
Yes, we do.
thank you very much. Yep, I appreciate it.
That is life changing, not just for us, but for future generations. When my son gets that house, he don't have to worry that he's doesn't have water.
And especially our next door neighbor who has very bad water.
Yeah. So, I mean, we appreciate knowing.
Well, as I had stated before, I made a lot of phone calls to make sure that this was a project that was going to get approved. And I got all the assurances from everybody involved that it would get approved. I know we didn't have a plan B, which, you know, was a little bit disconcerting to some, but I really felt in my heart of hearts that we were going to get this grant. And all the water samples were bad. We all know that. Some had E. coli, some had other issues going on with it, but I'm happy we got it. Dirk, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe that project will probably be initiated this year at some point in time.
I'm hoping, it depends on if they gotta get the, I was told they wouldn't do the plan until they receive the okay on the funds, and that would be another 3 to 4 months. Start to finish from the approvals from the health department on through, and then we get it in our hands.
But in that time, there's also bids that you got to put out for materials. So I guess that at some point in time here, you'll be starting the bid process on that.
Which the engineer guy has whether put together a spec, we put it out in bid, materials and materials.
Okay. Any other additional public comments?
Thank you very much to everybody that was involved. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Dirk was one that got us rolling in on it.
Yeah.
With that, can I get a motion and a second to pay bills and approve the supervisor's financial report? Motion by Christ, second by Berg. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. And with that, can I get a motion to adjourn? Motion by Christ, second by Berg. All in favor? Aye. Motion carried. Everybody have a good night. Thanks for coming. Appreciate it.
Is this yours?